Welcome, friends. Well, it happened. Look, friends. So, if this ever happens to you, which we are working hard into our picture, all right, and as we get started, make sure you're prepared by having a piece of paper so you don't mess up the table. You can just throw that out like newspaper or just an old magazine. I got out some tape. Any kind of tape will do the trick. It is dry, so I don't have to worry about that. If it was wet, I would try to get it to where, do you notice how this was the white part? We want to put it back together like the puzzle piece to make it look as much like the original as possible. And then we're going to flip it over, all right? And then if you have enough tape, just go left to right so the edge is, and then just do 4 little pieces of tape, all right? Or if you have the masking tape or whatever kind of tape you have, you guys know, just tape the back. That's the most important thing, all right? And then you can barely tell that, and then we'll fix that, okay? Another thing is I started erasing. Now, if you start erasing in your oil pastel area, if you use that, you will realize, see how this is oil pastel, and it sort of did, it went away, it was white, and then it pulled the colors. So take your eraser and just clean off anything that's not right. Don't think you've ruined it, all right? You haven't ruined it. But just notice how dirty it is. And then later, you'll have to smear off the oil pastel off of your eraser, or you're going to have blue on your next artwork, okay? All right, so with that said, I want you to know we are finishing this up. And so you have to think, okay, what were the rules Ms. K taught me? Well, she said, I need in the sky, it needs to be dark like marker or pressed down hard with a colored pencil, and then medium, and then light, and then white or yellow. If you use yellow with me, that's fine. But Ms. K, I only have a pink marker. I don't have anything else. Yes, you could use the pink marker or whatever kind that would work, and then you could add a little water to it later. Another choice is to use pastels, all right, to finish this puppy up, to finish anything you're having trouble with. But before you get those out, all right, remember the black parts. The black parts, I've got a Sharpie, okay, and I've got these bottoms that they're supposed to be super duper dark, like super duper crisp. So I'm going to go over these again and just make sure that it is all colored in, unless you're trying to do the light shining down. But really, it is just a black shape that is closest to us. And so the edges should be very sharp. It should be very detailed. We should know exactly what this shape is. And this is an organic vine. And I'm just going, I went over it once, I'm going over it again. All right. And going over here. And then I think I went. And if you've ever seen a grapevine, Google grapevine, it looks pretty cool. All right, and I'm coloring in the leaf. And if that one doesn't work and starts going out, it likes watercolor. Okay, it doesn't mind watercolor. It doesn't like this guy loses against the chalk, so keep him away from the chalk. All right, and so I really don't know what happened here. We've got some viney stuff going on. And I also got that cut there. So I'm just going to try to maybe I'll need to make another little leaf here on top of my, what could I put here? So I'm going to just put a small little leaf. All right, and maybe this is just a tiny, oh, I wish it was my marker. Okay, we're just gonna use the tip of this. And this sort of brings the eye, and I'm going over my ripped paper, okay? And so I just did a little loop-de-loo, and that loop-de-loo is pointing your eye back up here at the sun, okay? And then I have another branch coming over here, which will take care of this other part of the rip. Maybe I'll make it a little thicker. All right, and I see, oh, Miss Kay, you already started something over here. All right, but that's fine. Maybe there's 2 vines going towards it. So I'm going to go ahead and go over my leaf again. Color it in. And unfortunately, that one did go into the other one, but that's not going to hurt anything. That's fine. And it might be hard to see. So let me zoom down here so you can see what I'm doing. All right, so I haven't replaced this little crack, but I got all the other cracks well done. And I'm just going over so it's a really sharp edge so you can totally see the little vines on the side. All right, and it should not be fuzzy or a broken line. The leaves need to be colored in nice and dark. Let me get back up here so I know you can see everything. All right. All right. So once you've got that done, all right, this is the last step. Refine these, making sure they're sharp and nothing is not colored in. All right. It's in the shadows. It's in the darkness. So it's all going to be black. All right, hopefully that will pop back up. Sorry about that, friends. I'm going to move. I have another choice. If you've ever had whiteout before, all right, whiteout. Oh, there it is. Okay, this is going to be used last step if you need something to turn white. Okay, Miss Kay, can I put over these blue dots? No, you're just going to let those blue dots be there. Okay, there's something flying in the wind. We don't know what it is. We don't care. All right, so my trouble with this artwork is my river. I should have known that I was going to make a river. And then the opposite is the sky, rainbow, red, orange, yellow, which mesh to make orange, and then blue. All right, I realize this is when it ends, it's going to end like rainbow, and that's fine too. But as long as we started with the thought, we're good. Okay. Again, let's just start from the top and make sure the top is dark. All right, you can do this by any means you can. Like I said, I wouldn't request that you use a marker, but if that's all you got, well then you go. All right, and I'm pushing down as hard as I can. My hand's hurting right across the top, back and forth. All right, and then I'm going to go a little less. All right, maybe you've got orange. Take your orange. Okay, maybe you've got your yellow sun, and so you'll lightly use yellow through here. Okay, you won't be able to go over this with this, but the wonderful thing is if you messed up anything, these are your savior, but they are messy. Okay, and so I feel like you could maybe use markers to go over everything. I hope I'm not but I just went over some oil pastel. And Mr. Marker might not win. You know what? That's supposed to be... Okay, I'm not going to do that anymore because I forgot my rule of light, medium, dark. Okay, so I should have done that down here. So let me just add some over here to add unity to the artwork anyway. Okay, so I got that dark. I really wish I would have put that green marker line there, but I understand. We'll make it work. So I'm going to get out this blue, and what this is going to do is I've got red, orange, yellow. Sorry, I've got red, orange, yellow. Push down hard, push down lighter, push down lightest. Then you've got the sun. All right. If you use chalk, ooh, that's dirty. So you use, see, I'm cleaning my chalk off. This is the same thing with the eraser. You've worked so hard on this artwork. I can't wait to see this art. I can't wait to share with Mr. Lake. So I want you to work the hardest that you've ever worked on an artwork before with this. My fingers are dirty, so I keep recontaminating my white. Okay, and you can go into it with white chalk. All right, and no better time than the present. Let's go ahead and just go over what we did there, if you've got it. And it's already dragging what it's been through, so clean it off when necessary. All right, now it's starting to come back. I still miss what was there, but that's okay. We're just going to go with the flow. I do sort of like the contrast. Looking at the picture, it does look sort of cool. Okay, so I like the light and fuzzy, boring, nothing going on here. And then I do want my little sunshine to be more pronounced, though. You can sort of see that. So I just went over that again, just to make sure the curve is right. Don't worry about the bottom because it's going to have the sun rays. But again, my trouble with this whole artwork is all of this looks the same. And so I'm not touching my stream. I love how I made my stream. I'm just going to take blue chalk, and I am going to go over this. Remember, we were looking up at the high mountain. Okay, so I'm going to choose this blue just because this is the best, and not in the river. Stay away from the river or the path, whatever you're calling it. All right, I did erase some of my tree, so maybe I'll just do stipple and get some more, because remember, the light is coming from here, so the right side of the trees, if you want to do this, will actually be lit. I think Coach G says lit. All right. So if you want shadows there you go. Okay, going back to the blue, I got to get in between the sun rays. And I got to distinguish. Why are you doing this, Ms. K? Because I got to distinguish between foreground, middle ground, background. All right, have I done that? Are they three colors? Yes. Blue, I'm squinting. And while it's still a similar value, it's still, you can tell, all right, this is definitely the front, this is definitely the middle, and then the back. And then if you're having any trouble, like I can't see where I put, just go around, just stay away from those, stay away from the sun rays, all right? And you can dig into that and go back and get the path if you, and I realize I'm using blue, but that might, I like how that happened. All right, and the path is right here where the white is, so I'm just going to leave that alone. And then also know Mr. Marker and Mr. Chalk, any markers in chalk pastel do not work well, so don't be using that. Make your little minuses in the river. All right, but don't put too much of that don't put any of this color in the river because you're trying to separate the two colors, right? So you can see that the river stands by itself and it's a different color. All right, so I like how I've established this ground. It doesn't look like this anymore. My sun rays are beating down nicely. Remember those little grooves? Maybe, and I wish I could have had my water. I did a better job with you guys than I did here. I didn't do the sword curve thing. And so now I'm attempting to do the sword curve thing here. All right. And even though it's a marker, it's still, well, not this side. All right. And I don't like that side now because I didn't do what I taught you, which was the curved. But I want to stay away from this tree. Maybe I'll just do this. But see, again, I didn't curve it. So it's very linear. Maybe you like that. All right. Miss Kay doesn't like that. I like curvy everything. Okay. So, Miss Kay, you just messed that up. All right. If I did, you can always see if you can go over it with that chalk. Let's see how I did this. I notice I'm not giving up. I don't like what just happened, but I'm not giving up. I squint. I'm gonna just, over here is my river, so I know I can, this mountain over here. I should be going the direction, but at the same time, it's so very vital you keep your white sunshine white or yellow. Okay? It keeps evolving, friends. It keeps evolving. So now, Ms. Kay, why are you doing that? Because I see that this green almost looks darker than this blue. So I really wish I had a different shade. And you could even start going into your other art supplies, right? I'm still staying with, this is called, the bingo ladies, the old ladies use this. But let's just see. And it does. And it smells like blueberry. I'm still going to have my Sharpie be darker than this. I'm going to take my finger and put those J's in. Remember the J's? We've got to get the foreground darker than the middle ground. Stay away from the white. Miss K, stay away from the white. And Mr. Dirty Finger, it's more like Mr. Dirty Hand right now for me, so I'm not practicing when I'm preaching. That's what a true artist does. They do get messy, and it's okay. Just as long as you clean up, and notice when I leave here, the paper will clean up my spot. All right. So I want to back it up and just look at it. All right. And I think I've got light, medium, dark. And you could always try, you could always try to erase if you're trying to get those light values. You could also try to blend, okay, that chalk. Notice that chalk is making me make the curvy line that I wanted, and it's also lightening up this mountain back here. So maybe this chalk, ooh, I like how that's turning out. So straight up and down, curve, top of the sword, curve, top of the sword, out, make this white. And then because you're shading in with the green, it's going to shade back green. It's not going to shade back white. And then remember I said top sword. All right, looks like a volcano. All right, so there we go. Now I just got to make sure it is not as light as this. So this is a good light. All right. I realize that Miss Kay said you were going to make those groups dark. So maybe you could go back in and do the wavy sword that way. The wavy sword. Triangle shape. Okay, and it's starting to come through. There is a lot of linear stuff going on. We want to make sure these are the most important, and then this sort of gets blended. This is not as important to show that sword shape. All right, so I am going to stop. I realize I'm at 21 minutes again. My last ending video was like 5 minutes. So I did run into some complications with this. Notice how my river glows. Okay, so it's lighter, but again, dark, medium, light, and then in the sky, push down hard, dark, medium, light, wait for the sun and the rays. Again, put your stuff away. Make sure if you're very dirty that you wipe up all your supplies. And then for your final touches, get back in there so the sunshine rays are white, and wipe it off. See how this is happening here. Use a clean eraser. All right, and I got to clean that up, but I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you so much for being here. Again, if you need to re-put your name on there, just if you only have room for one name, just put your last name and then your number, and make sure you turn this in to lesson 33C, where this last message is from. Love you guys. See you later. Bye bye.